Hello! I wanted to show you the Constitution folder. But first, let's start with the learning targets. You're supposed to show that you can, it says, I will learn to describe the organizational structure, which all that means is that the government is broken down into three branches: the legislative branch, the executive, and the judicial branches. You're supposed to know those three branches, the powers that they have, and where they're defined. They're defined in the Constitution. You're supposed to be able to explain the idea of separation of powers as well as checks and balances, and how that limits the powers of the federal government. They put that into the Constitution to keep the government from having too much power. And you, from your project, I'm to understand that you kind of get that. The other one is to examine the foundations of the United States legal system by recognizing the role of the courts in interpreting the laws and settling conflicts. Really, if you understand the difference between the branches, you'll understand that the judicial branch, and that's number 3, basically. Then the language arts standard says adapt speech to a variety of contexts and tasks using formal English when appropriate to task and situation. You're going to submit your project. You're also going to submit a quiz. That's how you'll know you're done. So let's get started. I'm right-clicking on the reading, open in a new tab. Alright, you're going to turn in either 3 Vokies or 3 drawings. Very technically, you could turn in 1 elaborate, huge drawing, but I think it'd be easier if you turned in 3 drawings. You can find all the resources you need here. So I'm going to right-click, open link in a new tab. Let's see. Alright, so this is a how-to video on how to create a Vokie in Moodle. If you choose to make a Vokie, this will show you how to do it. If you click here, right-click, open in a new tab, this goes right to the Vokie website so that you can make your Vokie while you watch the video. So you can do it in 2 different tabs. And like I said, hey, I wanted to show you how to use this cool Vokie website. This is a website that showed, rather a video I made to show you how to make a Vokie. Come down here. I'm in Mozilla, so when you click on these, it opens differently, but it says open with Microsoft Word, okay. And then I'll click on this one here, open with Microsoft Word, okay. And let's bring them over. Right, this is the rubric for the Vokie, enable editing. And then this is the rubric for the drawing, enable editing. They're going to be very similar. It just depends on what you like to do. At the top, it's the standards, as always. Here it says you're going to prove that you know these standards by making drawings that show the 3 branches of the government, their powers, as well as checks and balances. So let's look at the 4s for all these categories. You showed or you labeled members of each branch. You state their titles. Also, you showed and you labeled each member was given their job by how they were given their job. So, were they voted in? Were they appointed by someone special? In the drawing, it's clear that you have that information in there. And both are very clearly seen in the drawing. That's how you'd get a 4 in this section. So you know that the president is part of the executive branch and that he's voted in. So in the executive branch drawing, that would be clear. Also, a Supreme Court judge, what branch is he in? How did he get his job? In your drawings, it's clear that you know that information. All right, now branch powers. It says you showed labeled the powers each branch holds. This should be at least 4 different jobs. All are clearly seen in the drawings. The judicial branch does things completely different than the executive branch. They have different responsibilities. So it should be clear in each drawing that you understand what their responsibilities are. And you put at least 4 of them in each drawing. Powers checked and powers are from the Constitution. So in here it says, showed labeled how each branch can check the powers of other branches, and you showed or labeled that these details are written out in the Constitution. All are very clearly seen in the drawing. So what this 4 means is that the executive branch isn't the big bully branch that has all the power. No, it has some power, but some of its power involves checking on the other branch's power. It checks on the judicial branch's power, and it kind of checks on the legislative branch. In the drawings, it shows that you understand that, and it shows that you know certain specifics about that. How does the executive branch check the legislative branch? Also, it says right here, showed and labeled that these details are written out in the Constitution. This one's super easy. All this detail that you're putting in your drawings, it's somewhere in there. You need to say, yep, the Constitution wrote all this stuff out. That one's pretty easy, I'd say. Concept understanding. Piece was obviously planned and created to clearly display learning from the chapter. That one, if this is all intact, then this 4 is pretty easy to get. Effort and perseverance. Piece is complete with substantial evidence of effort beyond what was required. So you really tried hard. It's clear to see. And then an 18 to 20 would be an A. Down here you've got your language arts grade. If you're going to do it this way, you get a different language arts grade. It's include multimedia components, graphics, and visual displays in presentation. So can you visually present information that you learned from the chapter? Let's look at the Vocee one. The Vocee one is basically the same thing. You know the members of the branch, you know how they got their jobs, you know the branch, each branch has different responsibilities, and that's clear in your Vocee. They have different jobs, and you list at least 4 of them. You understand that each branch checks the other branch. How do they check the other branch? Also, you know that all of the information that we're talking about here comes from the Constitution. That's where they understand these rules. We all just go back and read the Constitution if we're confused about how the government's supposed to work. This bottom part here, these are different than the drawing rubric. This is elocution. Student uses a clear voice and correct, precise pronunciation of terms so that all audience members can hear the presentation. Last, it says facts are accurate for all events reported in the presentation. The work is original and not stolen. So if you just basically copy and paste from the chapter, it won't work. You get a 0. Quickly, let's look at the Vocee. Is basically you're going to record your voice using the internet, and you get to design an avatar that talks to your voice. You could pick whoever you want, like this girl, and let's press play.
Hi. Welcome to Vocee for Education.
So you would record your voice reading off what you wrote about, let's say, the executive branch, and then the avatar moves the lips to your voice. I would set it up in such a way where the executive branch is its own Vocee, the judicial branch is its own Vocee, and then the legislative branch is its own Vocee. And you might even need to do 2 legislative branch Vocees if you can't record it in the allotted time that the Vocee website gives you. I've had kids do 3 executive branch Vocees and 3 legislative branch Vocees. So that's up to you as far as how you do that. Let's go back to the reading. So now you understand you either do drawings or Vocees to show that you know the differences between the branches. And here's the reading. I've got the recorded reading here if you choose to use that. Section 1, Introduction. In Chapter 13, you read about how... And if you have to take notes, you can press pause, and this little recorder follows you all the way down, so you can take notes the whole way. Oops, I don't know that I attached the notes in there. I might have to go back. Yep, I forgot to attach the notes. I'll go back and do that for you. Press next page. You do want to take notes because the notes help you with your project at the end. Remember, if you do answer these questions, you take your time and you use your notes because they are graded. Let's go back here. All right, here's the reading. It goes up to Section 8, the summary. Then we've got a couple fun assignments. Right-click, open link in a new tab. I've got the 3 branches wrap that you can watch.
One, two.
Remember, if you want to see it full screen, you press this button down here, full screen, and it'll make it larger for you. This will be a review before you start doing your project. It's got the 3 branches talked about in this video. Let's see. Then you've got your review game. Right-click, open in a new tab. Remember, you key in your Odyssey login and password, and then you hit login here. That opens TCI in a new tab. Come back to Moodle and click Open Game here, and then your review game should open up just fine. Let's go back to the list of assignments. Here are notes for a Safari montage video. It says click and download the note file below. Take notes using this file. It'll help you with a quiz. Watch the video in the next assignment, take notes during the video. The notes match exactly with the upcoming quiz. So if you take good notes, you'll pass the quiz, no big deal. I'll click on this to show you what they look like. Takes a second. Bring this over here. It talks about the checks and balances. Hey, we've talked about that already. Jobs for the federal government, jobs for the state government, and then the different branches, amendments. What does that mean? It's pretty straightforward, and the video is actually really good. Let me show you what that looks like. Right here it has the video. You click into that. This is a how-to video on how to watch Safari Montage in Moodle. Please click on this video and watch this because it can be tricky. I'll help you with anything that you can't do, but this shows you exactly how to watch the video and how to log in properly so that it'll come up on your screen. Sometimes it's difficult the first time, but I hope this part helps you. Let's go back. After you watch the video, you've got the quiz right here. Let's right-click, open in a new tab. It says, use your notes, take your time, good luck. Preview quiz now. Click there. Some of the questions you've got to type your answer. Be careful, use your notes, use your notes, use your notes. And then when you are all done, it says next. And then you've got to submit all and finish. If you don't submit it, then you won't get a grade for it. Please make sure. If you need to return to the attempt to see if you typed the right thing, that's fine. But at the very, very end, you must hit submit all, or I won't get it. Go back to the screen. And then the very last thing, as always, is submitting your project. And the Voki will be actually a link that they'll give you. If you need help with that, let me know. But when you come down here to add your submission, you click the add submission button on the very bottom, and you would just copy and paste the link from your Vokis. It should be pretty easy. And the drawings, you can submit pictures of your drawings and actually turn them in at whatever school's closest. You can put them in an envelope and send them to Tracy Perotti with Volusia Online Learning at Atlantic High School. The schools should be able to put it in the county mail and send it to me that way. But if you're looking on how to submit it on here, just take a photo of it with your phone or whatever, and then submit the file of the photo. Let me know if you need any help. That should be pretty straightforward, and this chapter is pretty detailed, but it tells you all the good stuff to show you how they made mistakes in the past with the government and the king, and they didn't want to do it again. So they made a lot of really good detailed rules in the Constitution. All right.